أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أيها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Peace and blessings, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Transition Remix. This is your brother Hamza Abdullah checking in once again. Alhamdulillah, we're episode 23. We are in a seven-step transition process. We're now in step 6, which is to control your circle, and FIFA, family, identity, finances, and attitude. And we're talking about our attitude. And I wake up with this poem every morning, and I've done it since my senior year in college, way back in 2004 at Washington State University. Our defensive back coach, Kenny Green, handed us all a sheet of paper, and on the top it said attitude. And I looked at my roommate and my leader, Eric Coleman, and because this was a new DB coach, and everyone knows in the football locker room, it's kind of like it's a bunch of silverback gorillas out there. You're a man and you're being tested, and you gotta make sure that you don't take things lightly, and you want to know who's challenging who, and you stand up for yourself. And it's also a copycat. It's a copycat room. It's a copycat place where if someone does something, everyone else follows suit. So you look to your leader to say, hey, if my leader goes with it, then I'm going to follow him wherever I go. And I looked at Eric Coleman when he grabbed this paper and he sat down and started reading. And then his face just changed. His attitude changed, his internal change. And after I saw that, I'm like, okay. So then I took the paper and I started reading. And the top said attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude. So we read the poem. Then we looked back at our coach. This is our new coach. And he just asked around. He said, how do you feel? And I remember Eric, EC, was just like, man, this is true. He's like, it just makes me reflect on my life and all these things that have happened to me. Issues with my mom, relationship with my mother, going to high school, being raised, outside of my home and not by my mother. And, he was opening up about his life, things that I didn't even know about him. And I was like, wow, this is a powerful poem. And I looked at my situation, and just as I've done in years past, and I'm like, it starts right here. It starts with my attitude. And all those times where, I felt down, I felt out, I can just reflect on my attitude. My attitude was in a very negative place, and I wasn't getting good stimulants. I wasn't getting a positive reinforcement, and I wasn't around good people. And that was a reflection of my attitude. And one of my big homies, my mentors, and my big brothers, Nick Ferguson, who kind of showed me the way in Denver, he would always say, attitude reflects leadership. Attitude reflects leadership. Attitude reflects leadership. And so I think about that for myself and as a man, just simply for myself and also for my family. And so if my family's having a negative attitude, it's probably because of me. And so that's one thing when we're in our transition, our attitude, our mindset, if you're about to go on a road trip and you're excited about this road trip, if you are prepared for this road trip, if you believe that you're going to get to your destination and you're going to enjoy your time, you're going to have a great time, regardless of what happens along the way, whatever transpires. But going on oh man, I got to drive up over here and I got to go visit such and such, and I got to. And you're going to see that person is going to have a very difficult road trip. And when we're on our path, we're coming into the last week of Ramadan. There's one of two ways to approach this with attitude. One attitude is, I didn't get done what I wanted to get done, so this Ramadan is lost. I'll wait till next year. Or there's the attitude that, wait a minute, Allah has given me this opportunity to be here today. I can accomplish everything that I wanted to as long as I have a positive attitude. If I said I was going to read Qur'an, I could take the attitude that I'm going to start reading right now. If I said I'm going to give charity, I can find a charity and I can give right now. And no charity is too small. No charity amount is too small. And that's one thing that I had to realize, that, man, I only have $5 or $10. Man, that $5 or $10 can help someone. Like, that can go a long way, especially with some of these organizations that maximize every single penny, man, that are doing great work. That can help. And as I've done every day these last 10 nights, I'm going to campaign. There are 2 charities, Can I Be Vulnerable and 1866 Nasiha. Please follow them and please donate to their cause. I believe we all have a cause that's near and dear to our heart. We just got to go kind of search it, seek it, and we'll find it. But those are two causes that I believe are really helping, and they've helped me tremendously, and they do great work. But Can I Be Vulnerable? I'll follow them on social media. Hit the link in their bio to donate. And 1866 Nasiha. Follow them and donate to their cause as well. And it doesn't matter, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, that can help. But again, it starts with an attitude. If I have a giving attitude, then regardless of what my bank account looks like, I'm going to be giving. Even if I didn't have anything, I'll give of my time, or I'll give of my, I'll give of my platform. I'll say, hey, I don't have the money, but I'll have this platform where I can promote them. Sometimes that's even better than money. So in our transition, it's so important that we have that attitude that we're going to get to the next place. We're going to get to the next space. And when we get there, it's because Allah is bringing us there. Allah is the goal. And as my Instagram handle says, Allah is the goal. That's what I constantly remind myself. Every transition leads to Allah. Every single one. So if I have this attitude that I needed to leave the last place to get closer to Allah, I needed to leave the NFL to get closer to Allah, well, then it's like, wow. So, man, when I was in the NFL, I wasn't as close to Allah as I am right now, or I was the next day. Yeah, because every single transition brings you closer and closer and closer to Allah. When we have that attitude, when we can say, hey, you know what? That was very tough. That was very difficult. That was a very difficult transition. But I know that Allah's plan is perfect. I know that He's bringing me closer and closer to Him. And we can remind ourselves of that. It's not going to be easy, but if we continually remind ourselves of that, that's the easy part, is to remind ourselves of it. So may Allah heal us, forgive us, and protect us, and guide us to a way that is straight. May we have a good and positive attitude and optimistic about today, about tomorrow, about yesterday, about our now, about our hereafter, about our Ramadan. This is the beautiful, blessed month of Ramadan. This is the month of transition. This is the month of mercy. This is the month of miracles. So I ask Allah to grant you your miracle, to grant you the night of power. And in that night, may you be forgiven. May you forgive yourself. May all of the success that you wish for, that you work for, that you pray for, may it be decreed for you and granted for you and your family. Ask Allah to accept this effort from us and to forgive us for our shortcomings and mistakes. Again, this is your brother Hamza Abdullah checking in. And tomorrow, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, with Allah's permission, we're on to the last step, step 7, write a goodbye letter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.